Welcome back to another weekly grocery haul. As always, we'll start with the produce. My nephew's with me again this week, so that's a nice bonus. I usually see him every other week, but he came with me today as well. So, produce. I got some broccoli for 2 meals this week. Some lettuce for things like lettuce wraps. I'm gonna do those 2 times this week, once with pork sausages and once with burgers. And I'll also use them in like a burrito, on sandwiches, things like that. Then a whole bunch of apples. You know by now, apples are my snack of choice. I always have them on hand in case I have a sweet craving. An apple usually does the trick. Some limes. I have 1 lime left, but I need at least 2 this week for a salsa and for some lime cilantro rice. So I picked some up. They're €1 for 3 at the Middle Eastern market. Onions, because I always need onions. I wanted some red onions this week, but lately they didn't have them at the market because I think the red ones are just not really in season that well, because if they do have them, they don't look very good. So they only have yellow onions at the moment. Those are the 2 onions I can usually get, yellow and red. Some shallots for roasted salsa. Some cucumber. I'm gonna make some pickled cucumber, for example, for the for the burger lettuce wraps. And I like having cucumber on my sandwiches and things like that. Some carrot. I use carrot in some vegan, not vegan because I'm gonna make quesadillas. If I make them as tacos, they're vegan. If I make them as quesadillas, they obviously have cheese in them, so then they're vegetarian. But I use lentils, some beans, and a lot of shredded carrots. I got some carrot for that, and also for a soup. Another reason I got the parsley. That's also for some soup, just some vegetable soup. 2 bunches of cilantro. 1 is going to go in a roasted salsa that I'll use in several meals this week, and 1 is going to go in some lime cilantro rice. So I prefer making things and then reusing the same components in multiple meals. I'm going to use the roasted salsa with some vegetarian quesadillas, with some tacos, with a rice bowl, like a taco bowl kind of thing. You know, I use the same components. Then what else do I have? I have some green beans for 1 meal this week. Some potatoes tomorrow with some, I think some broccoli or green beans. And some pork. Some chilies I have for a couple of things, like lettuce wraps, but also for the roasted salsa. Some cherry tomatoes for the roasted salsa, peppers for the roasted salsa, for the lettuce wraps, etc. So, produce this week came to €28.44. That's quite a bit for me. I really noticed that the produce is going up in price lately, but I still prefer buying fresh whenever I can. Then, before I forget, a little bit of household. I'm almost out of laundry detergent, so I got some of those pods. Those were €14.48. Then we have a little bit of meat and dairy. As I already said, I needed some shredded cheese for my quesadillas. Or burritos. And my nephew, he's been really liking what we call in Dutch broodje gezond, which is a sandwich with ham, cheese, lettuce, cucumber, tomato if he wants some, but I don't think he does. I don't really like raw tomato that much. Hard-boiled egg, mayo, that kind of stuff. So he's been really into those. So we need some sliced cheese and we need some ham for that. Then for my lunch tomorrow, I'm gonna have some some sandwiches with some chicken breast. I have some of these Catalan seasoned sausages. I'm gonna use half of this pack to go with a meal, probably the broccoli or the green beans. The other half I'm gonna take out of its casing and I'm gonna use as ground pork seasoned for some lettuce wraps. Then I have some schnitzels breaded. Those are for tomorrow. And then I have some ground beef. It's a kilo. I'm going to divide that in 4 portions and use that throughout this week. So 1 portion is going to go into tacos, 1 in my burger lettuce wraps, 1 portion is going to go in some burritos, and 1 is going to go in my taco bowl. So, meat and dairy this week came to 22 euros and 95 cents. And then we have everything else. Since my nephew wanted sandwiches, I got a whole loaf of bread, so that's lunch for today for both of us, and then lunch for me for tomorrow. I usually get 1 bag of chips for the week, but my nephew picked these Doritos Bits. Those were 5 tiny bags for €1, so we have those for snacks. He'll probably have some, and I'll have some. Then my 2 bars of chocolate for the week. I never tried these before. One is with like a baked apple flavor, and the other is with a macadamia nut flavor. So we'll just see. I was running low on soy sauce, and those 2 were on sale, so I have a light and a dark. Just stocked up. For dinner tonight, my nephew loves poffertjes, which are like little pancakes. So I got those. Those were on sale, so that works out. I think that's actually everything. That came to €9.64, which makes the grand total for this week €75.51. Converted into US dollars, that is $88.49. So, if you like this kind of content, I do this every single Saturday. And if you'd like to see how I get all these groceries by bicycle here in the Netherlands, I post a video of that about once a month. I posted one a week and a half ago, I think, 2 weeks, something like that. And if you want to see what I do with all of this, every Sunday I do a Sunday prep day video where I prep for the week. So I'm going to cut all my vegetables. I'm going to make the soup. I'm going to make the roasted salsa. I'm going to make the pickled cucumbers, things like that. And if you'd like to see what I ultimately eat, you can check out my Instagram where I post every single meal, or you can check out the video that I post about once a month on here where I show you everything I eat in a day for a whole week. So if that all sounds good to you, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching. Until next time, bye for now.